Well, good morning. My name is Claudia Hernandez Lopez, and today I will present the characterization of lead sulfide quantum dots sensors for temperature measurements. This work was developed between the Public University of Navarra and the INOE Romania. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to Carlos and the International Symposium on Optical Sensors for the opportunity of present my work here today. I want to show you a picture of our sensors group here at the Public University of Navarra. Some of these faces may look familiar to you. Well, quantum dots are nanomaterials used in the optical sensing because of their strong luminescence and their size to enable emission. In particular, lead sulfide quantum dots emit in the near infrared. That's why make them ideal for optical sensing applications. However, when these materials are integrated into optical fiber, it's necessary to study their properties after deposition and see how some parameters like the film thickness affects the sensor performance. That's why the main goal of this work is to characterize the lead sulfide quantum dots deposited on the optical fiber using a sol-gel matrix with the deep coating technique, study the effect of the number of layers, and to evaluate the performance of the sensor in terms of luminescent emission and sensitivity to temperature changes. For the sensor fabrication process, the sensor fabrication process includes 4 steps. Step 1 is etching the tip of the optical fiber with hydrofluoric acid. With the deep coater robot, we taper the optical fiber to enhance the light coupling in the reflection configurations and the interaction between the fiber and the deposit material. Step 2 is preparing the sol-gel solution. The sol-gel is a good matrix, it's a good host for the material because avoid its degradation and stabilize the film. Step 3 is the deposition of this sol-gel solution by deep coating technique, varying the number of layers between 10 and 20 dips in this case. And finally, thermal treatment at 100 degrees Celsius for 2 hours in a vacuum oven without oxygen, and after many nitrogen purging cycles. This optimized process allows us to stabilize the film, avoid oxidation, and minimize the effect of photobleaching, which are one of the main problems for the luminescent sensors. After deposition, we measure the absorption spectra, and we can observe a broad band from the ultraviolet to the visible range and the maximum around 1,100 nanometers. This response allows us to excite the quantum dots with 395 nanometers LED, and we can observe that the emission is around 1,200 nanometers, and this large stock shift allows us to avoid the self-absorption and the signal overlaps. This is other of the main problems for the luminescent sensors. As we can see in the slide, here is the response, the luminescence emission for the sensors with 10 dips, 12, 15, and 20 dips. For the calibration temperature, calibrations with temperature, we discard the sensor with 10 dips because of their low emission. For the temperature calibrations, we use a thermostatic band with a double-walled metal cell where water circulates around the sample and the sensor was inserted through the top. We excite the quantum dots with a 395 nanometers LED, and we collect the emission with a bifurcated optical fiber connected to the NIRQuest spectrometer. And we also use a temperature probe to control the temperature in the cell, in the metal cell. The spectra was collected at each step of temperature. Here we can see the response for the sensor with 12 dips. We can see a clear thermal quenching effect. We can see that the intensity of the emission decreases when temperature increases, and we also observe a blue shift consistent with confinement effect and interdot coupling. And on the other hand, we can see that when temperatures decreases, emission intensity increase, and we also observe a shift toward the near. The sensor presents good linearity and the resolution of 0.8 degrees Celsius. Now we can see the response for the sensor with 15 dips. In this case, we also observe a response to the temperature changes. We observe the same behavior. When temperatures increases, the emission intensity decreases, and we observe the blue shift. And when temperature decreases, the emission intensity increases, and we observe a shift toward the near. In this case, we observe an hysteresis, especially in the cooling cycle, and the sensitivities in this case are lower than in the case of the sensor with 12 dips. Now we can see the response for the sensor with 20 dips. In this case, the almost lost the linearity, and the luminescence was weaker. This could be related with the thicker layers. After these calibrations, we repeat calibrations for the sensor with 12 dips, and in this case, we obtain similar results, similar values of sensitivity, and a linearity. Here we can observe an hysteresis between the cycles, the temperature increases cycles and the decreasing temperature cycles, but this could be explained by the expansion and contraction of the crystalline network of the quantum dots, which are not identical and not entirely reversible. This behavior is observed in all the sensors. This table summarizes the values for the sensitivity, linearity, and resolution of all dataset configurations. As we said before, the sensor with 10 dips was discarded because of their low emission intensity. The sensor with 20 dips shows the worst behavior, and the best global response was for the sensor with 12 dips, especially in the case of the second calibration, reaching a resolution value of 0.68 in the cooling cycle. With these results, we can say that while the sensor with 15 dips exhibited a high linearity in increased cycle, its lower resolution and performance for the cooling cycle made less a less optimal choice, suggesting that additional layers do not necessarily improve temperature sensing. The sensor with thicker films, in this case with 20 dips, showed lower sensitivity and resolution, which might be attributed to the increased scattering and reduced excitation due to excessive film thickness. And this study confirmed that the number of layers affect the sensor performance with an optimal number of layers of 12 dips in our case, where the luminescence intensity, sensitivity, and resolution are optimized. And the main contribution of this study is the analysis once the material is integrated into the optical fiber. These are some reference. Thank you.
Okay, questions? Okay.
Could you elaborate on the procedure you follow to determine this number of deposition cycles of the quantum dots?
Thank you, Dairon. Well, in this work, we show the main representative results, but in fact, we made sensors with a number of layers from 5 to 100 layers, but with a lower number of layers, the luminescent emission was enough for the luminescent emission response, and with too many layers, the effect of self-quenching and scattering es que no se aguanta tampoco.
I try to ask in English. My English not so good, but do you find the problems during the process, the recover the device? Some like broke the fiber, some like this, or no?
No, not in this case, because this. Not in this case, because these optical fibers are of 1 micrometer, so it's very easy to manipulate. When we do the taper, yes, because the reproducibility is one problem, but yes, but with optical fibers with the low.
Okay, no more question? Oh.
Thank you very much. So we observed hysteresis of sensor. Can you explain the mechanism of that? Reason of that hysteresis?
We think that the hysteresis in this case between the both cycles, in the heating cycle and the cooling cycle, could be explained for the expansion and contraction of the crystalline network of the quantum dots. These processes are not identical, and that's why they are not reversible. That's why those differences occur.
Any other question? In this case, thanks the speaker again.